Hi everyone, before I start this video, I just want to thank you all so much for 1000 subscribers. I've really been enjoying talking to you all and getting to know you all in the comment sections and in messages and whatever. I'm just really happy to connect with people who are kind of interested in the same stuff as me. I love you all so much, and let's continue with the video now. Hi everyone, my name is Jane, and today I want to talk about a very important topic. If you're a goth or a baby bat, you've probably heard of the goth elitists or the gatekeepers. If you do not know what I mean the kind of people who are telling other goths that they are not goth enough or that they are not an actual goth because of whatever reason they can think of. These are the gatekeepers because they try to keep other people from being goth, and they find themselves the most ultimate goth that they can ever think of. These people cause, especially the baby bats, to not dare to be themselves. Which is actually so bad because the whole goth subculture is about being yourself. It's about being free to be who you are. So gatekeeping the goth community is kind of the most un-goth thing you can ever do. So this video is made for the baby bats or the goths who do not actually dare to express themselves because of these gatekeepers. And it's for anyone who has ever been gatekept, who has ever been judged by other goths for not being goth enough. I will just be explaining to you what you need to do in order to be goth and what you do not have to do in order to be goth. And I will also be complaining a lot about the gatekeepers. Oh, and before anyone starts, I know there's gonna be some people who are gonna say, like, you're not a real goth if you even care about this. If you're a real goth, you wouldn't care about what people say about you, and if someone calls you a poser, just ignore them. Yeah, you should ignore these people, but it's actually kind of hard to just ignore what other people say, especially if you're like young or if you're new into the whole subculture. Like, if you're just kind of discovering this and if you're trying to get into it, you want to be welcomed by the community. You don't want to be fake claimed all the time. You don't want to be called a poser because these people are young, they are sometimes insecure, and that makes it just really hard for them to be who they are. So, I mean, yeah, sure, you should ignore these like people who call you a poser, but please just do not say that you are not a real goth if you care about what people think. Like, you can be a goth and care what people think. I mean, it's not like you cannot be a real goth just because these things affect you, because that's just kind of normal, it's human. And there are some people who are especially vulnerable to that, and we need to think about that. Like, you cannot just tell people like you're fake because you care about someone's opinion. That has nothing to do with being goth and being into music and being into this whole subculture. Like, that doesn't make you immune to other people's opinions. And you can totally tell someone like stop caring about someone's opinion, but it's harder than you think. Like, it's easier said than done. Now, firstly, the most important thing that I want to say in this video is that there is no ultimate goth. Whatever people make you believe, you are just as goth as all the others, and there's no such thing as being half goth or being not nearly goth enough or whatever, like, except for if you want to be that, but there's no such thing as being not goth enough. And the only one who can decide if you belong to a subculture is you. You can decide, do I feel that way? Do I like that music? Do I want to be part of that community? Yes or no? You are the one to decide that, and no one else can decide that for you. So if anyone ever tells you that you do not belong, that you are not enough like the others, that you do not look the way you are supposed to look, those people are gatekeepers and they are not worth being friends with or being around, because you will never be good enough to those people, alright? And the best thing is to just not be around those people, because it will only make you feel insecure and not enough when you definitely just are. So I will be naming some things now that you do not have to do if you want to be a goth. The most important thing if you want to be a goth is you enjoy the music, you want to be part of the subculture, and all the following things you do not need. So firstly, you do not need to dress black every day. You do not even have to dress black at all. The whole fashion thing is mostly just a thing that a lot of people like to do, but it's not necessary. You can dress however you want. There's a lot of different kind of styles in the goth subculture. You can be a pastel goth, you can be a casual goth. You do not have to wear chokers and crosses and fishnets every day. You do not necessarily have to dress in black and white. You can just wear a pink shirt and no one cares. You can totally be a goth wearing whatever you like. Again, no one can gatekeep you for the kind of colors that you wear. That is just the most unimportant thing ever, but it's not necessary, it's not an obligation, it's not something you need to do. So if you want to become a goth or you're a baby bat and someone tells you you do not look goth enough, just do not care. Just do whatever you like. You do not have to buy all these new clothes just in order to look more goth. If you like looking that way, of course you can do that. Just, you know, do what you want, but you do not have to. So secondly, you do not have to wear goth makeup. You do not have to wear makeup at all. Some people just do not like to wear makeup. For example, me, I only wear makeup for my videos and for events and concerts, that kind of stuff. To school, I never wear makeup. I don't care. I am not gonna wake up at 6 a.m. in order to do my eyeliner for school. I do not care enough to look good at school with my makeup. I will just look however I want. I will dress however I want. If I need to go to school at 8 a.m., I'm not gonna wake up even earlier in order to just do my makeup to look goth. Which seems kind of logical to me, but it's a really common misconception that every goth looks goth every day. No. We don't. After I finish this video, I will just wipe off all this makeup and I will look totally normal, except for my pink hair maybe. But you do not have to wear any goth makeup, so do not worry about that. If you do not like makeup, if you do not know how to do it, you can learn it just because you think it's fun, but you do not have to. So now about the goth music, because there is a lot of people who gatekeep people for the music they listen to. So firstly, yes, this subculture is about music, but you do not have to know every band, every artist, all the names of the artists, their birthdays, their favorite color, the last time they went to the toilet. You do not have to know all that. If you just enjoy some bands, you can call yourself a goth. You do not need to know every single band. I do not. I don't think any goth knows every single goth band. That is just impossible. And if people tell you that you are not goth enough because you do not know every single band or you do not know some of the more popular bands, like, no, you can just like some bands more than the others. There's a lot of popular goth bands that I do not listen to just because I do not necessarily like their songs and I like some other songs more. Also, yes, you can listen to other music. If you're a goth, you do not only have to listen to this type of music. You can also listen to pop music, rap music, hip-hop, metal, rock, whatever. You can listen to anything and goth music, and then you can be a goth. So if someone ever tells you that you are not goth because you also listen to whatever, Taylor Swift, sure, you can be a goth if you listen to goth music as well. You can also enjoy some other kind of music. It would kind of be boring to listen to one music type only, in my opinion. For me, it really depends on my mood, what kind of music I like. If I'm like happy or in a really good mood, I love goth music. And if I'm sad, I prefer like really dark music. That is just, you know, my preference, and that is totally fine. So another thing I've seen a lot online is that people judge each other for the type of music they put behind their TikToks and Instagram reels. So I've seen some Instagram reels. I do not use TikTok, so I'm just gonna be talking about Instagram. I've seen some reels that are about goth, that are talking about the goth subculture or whatever, someone looks goth. And then there's a lot of comments about them not using a goth song on their goth TikTok, which, like, who cares? Like, you can be a goth and listen to other music, so you can also just put other music on your TikToks. If you are a goth online, you do not have to kind of prove yourself by putting only goth songs on all of your TikToks and Instagram reels. You can put whatever song you like, even if it's just a really popular pop song, who cares? If it fits your TikTok, you can totally just put that sound on it. You should just ignore the people who tell you that you need to put a goth song on your TikTok if you're a goth, otherwise you are not a goth. Like, I do not see the logic in that whole thing. You do not have to prove yourself by putting that music on every single thing you put online. Another thing that is not necessary to be goth is being into horror and scary things and skulls and death and all that sort of stuff, you know? You do not necessarily need to be immune to anything scary if you're a goth. You do not need to love horror movies. A lot of goths do, but it's not like you cannot call yourself goth if you are not into that stuff. A lot of things about the subculture are really dark and morbid and whatever. If you're not necessarily into those things, you can still be a goth. If someone tells you you cannot be that because you do not like death, that is just weird, because a lot of people just don't like that. And you do not necessarily have to be really interested in scary things in order to be goth. Some people just don't like that stuff and still do like the music or like the fashion. Let me give you an example that I've talked about in a previous video. I'm really into horror, which is a really difficult word to pronounce, by the way. But yeah, I am into scary movies, but something I do not like is jump scares. I get really scared from jump scares, which sounds really stupid, but I just do not like jump scares. It just scares me. I don't like it. I don't like the feeling of it. I do not like being scared of that the whole time that I'm watching a movie. So I sometimes even avoid movies because I know there's gonna be jump scares in it. That is just not my thing, and that's totally fine. I could still be a goth and not like jump scares in movies. Like, I do not have to be immune for anything scary just to belong to this subculture, and you do not either. So those were some of the things that a lot of baby bats are wondering if they should do that. Most of the time the answer is just no, you do not have to do that in order to be goth. I think it's really important that people are not gonna bully each other into becoming something that they're not. I do not want people to tell you that you need to do this and that to call yourself a goth, and then you do it but you don't feel like that's you. Just do what you like, do what you think is best. Do not let other people decide for you what you need to do. There's enough rules in society already. We do not have to have even more rules just to be a goth, which is actually a subculture that is about freedom and expressing yourself. This subculture is not about all being the same, everyone looking the same, everyone acting the exact same way. It's about being yourself. So do not try to be like anyone else. Now there's one thing I do want to mention, because I've seen someone say that they have been called a gatekeeper for telling someone what is goth music. Now I do not necessarily think it is gatekeeping to tell someone, like to inform someone about the goth subculture. If someone is listening to a certain type of music and you explain like, that is not actually goth music, that is fine, I think. Like, you can definitely tell someone what is and isn't goth music, but some people are just too strict about it. There's a lot of discussion about what is and isn't actual goth music. So yeah, I just think some people need to be a bit less strict about that. But I do not think it's gatekeeping just to like educate someone on something, as long as they're not judging you or bullying you. So for anyone watching this video, please just let people call themselves whatever they want to call themselves. Let people call themselves goth, even if you do not think that they are. You do not know what is going on in someone else's life, so you cannot decide for someone else if they are a goth or a poser. Of course, there are some people who are just obviously posers. There are some like models on Instagram who are using the word goth as if it's just some kind of clothing style or some kind of weird kink thing, which I think is fine to correct. Like, if you think those people are using the word goth in a way that just isn't correct at all, sure, you can correct them. This is more just that some people are being gatekeeped and being fake claimed for absolutely no reason, because yeah, as I say in this video, you do not know if someone is goth just by looking at them. You do not know if someone is goth just by watching one TikTok or just by seeing one video or by seeing them on the street. You do not know their entire life. You do not know if they actually do listen to goth music, if they are actually into the fashion, if they actually are into the subculture. So I'm just like saying, do not assume anything before you actually know someone. But of course, yeah, there are some posers. Like, it's really hard to say who would be a poser and who isn't. I personally just don't like assuming that about someone, so I would never call someone that. But I bet there are some who literally just use the word goth in order to, I don't know, seem like something hot or cool or whatever. Just let people call themselves a goth and just, you know, accept it. Do not assume that everyone who calls themselves a goth is a poser. Just assume like, okay, they call themselves that, so they are that. Do not bully people into becoming something that they are actually not. There is probably a lot of more things that I've not mentioned in this video. If you're a baby bat or a goth or considering to become a goth, do let me know in the comments if you're like wondering about something, and like if you're curious about whether you do need to do something or do not need to do something in order to be goth. As I said, most of the time the answer is no, but if you're just like insecure about it, or if someone says something to you like you're not a goth because, do let me know in the comments. I will probably react to your comment and just tell you what I think about it. But yeah, please do not let other people gatekeep you. Do not let other people define who you are. So I hope this video helped some people. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel. I make a lot more videos kind of like this, so do check out my other videos. Leave a like and a comment on my video, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye!